Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hello. Thank you for watching my videos. It's Mike. It's August 23rd, 2009. Okay, on Friday, Bernanke and a bunch of central bankers from around the world all converged on Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Apparently they do this every year. Last year it was 2 weeks before Lehman Brothers collapse, apparently. So, we'll see what happens in the coming month. Now, anyway, Bernanke was very upbeat on growth prospects, so says the Financial Times. He was, however, not quite willing to say that it's over. He says that growth is starting and things are looking better, but did not go so far as to say the crisis was over, which is a good thing, because if he did, he would be lying. Now, the European Central Bank has warned on complacency. Yes, Jean-Claude Trichet warned policymakers from around the world on Saturday not to forget the lessons of the devastating financial crisis now that the worst has passed. So, anyway, he came out basically and said that, yeah, things are better, things are looking up, Germany and France are out of recession, yippee, yahoo! Never mind, it's all fake. But also said that, you know, risk remains, which is also true. Now, another of the European Central Bankers, Governing Council member Evald Nowotny, I believe is how you pronounce that, said on Saturday the European economy will improve in the second half of this year, but a sustained recovery will not likely take hold until the beginning of 2010. So why are they saying all this? They're saying things are better, but there's still some risks. Okay, over in Europe, the big risk is Hungary. And other developing European countries. So Hungary and other Eastern European countries, so forth. There's an interesting article I've linked here from the New York Times about what's happening in Eastern Europe and how the global credit crisis is affecting businesses over there, which of course will have knock-on effect for employment and so forth. Now, the other big news this week. The National Association of Realtors over in the States came out with their big report, Strong Gains in Existing Home Sales Maintains Uptrend. Basically coming out and saying that home sales have risen 7.2% from June. However, this is still down from last year. More importantly, the fact that, okay, home sales are up 7.2%, more than likely these are foreclosures and so forth. A certain percentage are. Roughly 31% of them are from foreclosures. However, additionally, there was a 7.3% increase in home supply. Okay, so you had 7.3% more homes for sale, and you had sales up 7.2%. Guess what, folks? Go figure. People are buying up these things as starters, so you know, first-time buyers are getting in there as soon as they can because the mortgage rates are quite low. Now's a good time to start if you have a decent job and you are relatively secure in your employment. And it's also a very good time if you have lots of cash kicking about. So there's a lot of investors going in, buying these things up, going to hold on to them for 6 months to a year and then flip them. It's not real. This is not how a real economy works. Hello. However, yes, so another article posted here from the Philadelphia Business Today, Philly.com. The prospects for a return to growth in the near term appear good, Bernanke said in a speech. Yes. House prices appear to be stabilizing. Yeah. Now, one of the things that people are sort of forgetting is where are these houses coming from? Okay, now foreclosures are up. They're up 13%. Sorry, they're up quite dramatically. 13% of all mortgages are in or near to foreclosure. So I think the number right now is almost 1 in 10 with a mortgage was at least one payment late. Another 4% had entered the foreclosure process on their loans. Now, these are not the dodgy subprime stuff. These are prime loans. These are normal loans, you know, normal mortgages, 70% value, whatever, that people are now having to foreclose on because they are unemployed. And it is quite normal that the unemployment rate, as it climbs, the foreclosure rate also climbs accordingly. So I suspect, as we see unemployment rise across the US and indeed across the UK and parts of Europe, Foreclosures will also increase correspondingly, which is going to have a bizarre knock-on effect. Now what's happening is the summer is a good time to sell. And in fact, checking up on my little property over in England, right now there's a real lack of supply for houses in my area. Now I happen to live in a ridiculously nice area for the country. Well, I call it ridiculously nice, but anyway, basically it's in a really good catchment for a school. It's one of the highest rated public schools, or publicly funded schools in the country. And I have a 3-bed house, so it's going to be dead simple to sell it if I want to. Now the question then becomes, is it worth anything like what the mortgage is? Should that happen, I may just have to post the keys back. But anyway, we'll worry about that later. So, yes, so homeowners with problem mortgages top 13% in the US. And basically they're saying loan delinquencies among prime borrowers with fixed-rate mortgages grew from the first quarter to the second in all 50 states. In other words, this is a problem across all of the states because, of course, unemployment is across all of the states. We're not supposed to know that. Now, for a balanced view, for those of you that say, no, everything's fine, everything's ticking over just wonderfully, the economy is recovering, I have linked an article from the Associated Press, Foreclosures Stabilize in Key States. In other words, places like California, Arizona and Florida, which were going completely mental. This is where the subprimes were. Well, the foreclosure rate has steadied and dropped because, of course, all the people that actually couldn't afford houses have lost their houses, and the people that are now losing their homes are the people who could normally afford a mortgage. And of course, the rate's going to stabilize. Of course, the other thing about this is it's in turn creating a new housing bubble. We'll see how long that lasts when interest rates start climbing at the end of the year. Now, other big news Friday. Large Texas bank shut down by federal regulators. I've linked this here from the New York Times. Guarantee Bank became the second largest U.S. bank to fail this year. Yeah, after the one last week. Colonial, I think it was. After the Texas lender was shut down by regulators, and most of its operations sold at a loss of billions of dollars for the U.S. government to, get this, a Spanish bank. So the Federal Deposit and Insurance Corporation is selling your banks off to foreign countries now. Sorry to break the news to you. You're about to get pillaged by other countries. Never mind. Now, carrying on with the banks over in the States, a couple of articles here, one from the New York Times, what the stress test didn't predict. Okay, it's a long, boring read. I don't know what Gretchen Morgenson is trying to get to at this, but basically going on and saying that 7,000 banks submitted financial data from the second quarter of this year to the FDIC. Data includes 90% of institutions with federally insured deposits, but excludes reports from the 19 big banks like Citigroup, Bank of America, etc. Those reports can be filed later. Anyway, she goes on to say that essentially a large number of these smaller banks, but still pretty big, have some signs of trouble. Now, of course, this is not all banks. Majority of the banks in the United States did not get into this dodgy lending, so hopefully it won't be too big. Now, the lady who predicted the collapse of Citigroup's dividend this year has come out and said something similar with regards to banks. Meredith Whitney said the number of U.S. banks could quadruple as lenders struggle with bad loans. Her quote is, "There will be over 300 bank closures." Well, we're at 81 now, so only another couple hundred to go. Not bad. Now, the other, of course, big news is the Cash for Clunkers deal is ending quite early. The original plan was that the Cash for Clunkers program would last until November. You've got until Monday, and in fact, a lot of dealers across the states are saying they're going to stop even offering this because the paperwork is such a nightmare. To get it in time for Monday is unlikely. However, one thing about this program, and I've linked an article from The Guardian in the UK, Cash for Clunkers deal boosts US car sales by 450,000 in 3 weeks. So, basically, nearly 500,000 cars have been sold because of the Cash for Clunkers program in a month. Now, unless Obama comes along and says, okay, we're going to extend it and give more money, you're going to see a sudden drop in car production. Who's going to buy a car when, next month, when Anyway, so everybody's rushing out this month to buy a car, and it's just going to have a little bubble, and then spike upward in sales, and then it's going to tank again. Now there's a new program coming up, which I hadn't heard of. People will be offered up to $200 for trading in old, inefficient fridges, dishwashers, air conditioning units, etc. I suspect this is some kind of green program. Reduce the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere and whatnot. So a cash for appliances program will begin this August, or this autumn rather. Now, last two things, just being a little funny. YouTubeLand, make it here, you can make it anywhere. And they are discussing a Montreal YouTube star. She has a little YouTube site, which I'm going to go find and link, called Bitchin Kitchen. Basically, the 29-year-old Montreal native will bring her 9 tattoos and one-of-a-kind kitchen comedy to Canada's Food Network. Basically, she's been on YouTube building this huge audience and now has walked off to a Canadian television network and said, "Hey, give me a show. Look, I've got all this audience. What do you think, folks? Should I do it?" No, I got things to do. And besides, I need to get my audience up around, I don't know, 20, 30,000. It could happen. One of my videos has now received 32,000 views. That would be the 2009 predictions video, which just blows my mind. And my total number of views has just gone over 1 million. Anyway, final link, a shout out for some people that sent me some information. I thought, okay, well, this is probably decent information. For those of you out there who want to know what you can actually do to demonstrate your lack of desire to go along with the plans of governments and banks and whatnot. September 11th, 2009, Rock the Planet. Now, I've linked here the Freedom Infonet webpage. Basically, they're trying to set up, you know, a nice global kind of anti-capitalism protest, but of course it's just get people together. And one of the key ideas, of course, is that wherever you are in the world, there are other people like you, all around you, who think the same way. Okay, folks. Peace, love, understanding. Think about things. I'll speak to you again soon.